Tony Crawford, you might need somebody. Well, if you need a dog trainer, then Tony Cruz is definitely your man, and he's with us now. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Adrian.
How are you?
I'm very well today. I'm Motley list today.
I was going to say, where's Motley? Where's Motley?
He's got the day off. I've given him a bit of a lay-in on Sunday, so why not?
Fair enough. Well, I mean, even dogs need a lay-in now and again, don't they?
Yeah, he's got a busy day for the rest of the day, so, you know.
Oh, has he?
He can chill out, yeah.
Is he out and about, is he?
Bit of a picnic later on, so...
Oh, well, that'll be good. That'll keep him busy.
He'll have some fun, yeah.
So how's life with you? You keep him busy?
It's exceptionally well, yes. My club's doing very, very well. You know, I always think that there'll be an end to it, that I've trained all the dogs possible, but they'll still come in.
And still finding new problems to deal with?
There's always new problems. There's never one problem the same. So
Really?
Yeah.
What's the most common problem you get faced with, do you reckon?
It's generally puppies. People get a puppy, it might be someone who's had dogs all their life, and they suddenly get a puppy and think, this never happened before.
Yeah.
And chances are it did happen before, but they've forgotten all the bad stuff. Well, not the bad stuff, but the mischievous stuff that occurs with a puppy. So it's generally just bedding the puppy down, really getting the puppy used to some sort of routine, and just helping the puppy understand right from wrong.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, look, I mean, the phones are open. If you've got any questions for Tony, you know, maybe you've got a pup or a dog that's causing you a few problems, Tony is here to give you some advice on how to sort it all out. Just great songs. Sunday Live, Maroon 5 and Payphone. And Tony Cruz, dog training expert, is with us. Good to see you again, Tony, by the way.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I saw you, but it's really nice to have you back in. And we were just saying, it's quite interesting. When we have Tom doing news and Tracy doing the show and you come in, you've all got the same initials.
We have indeed, yeah.
TC.
TC. Yeah, I think
TC.
we form our own company, I think.
Yeah, the TC Brigade.
TC something, yeah.
And I'm an AF, I'm afraid, so I'm going to break the mould there. But anyway, listen, if you've got a problem with your dog, then do get in touch. 01702 45 50 60. You can text through to 60300. Just make sure that you put the word Essex as the first part of your message. Well, I had a couple in this morning so far, Tony, that you might be able to help with. We had a tweet come through. This is an interesting one. Twice a day I take my dog to the park to forage for sticks. It's been 2.5 months now and she still hasn't found one she's happy with. What's going on?
Not sure if that's a question or something out of a Christmas cracker. I must make a point about sticks. I mean, it's the old sort of adage, your dog happily runs along with a stick in his mouth and he drops it and you throw it and it's all good fun. Dog, especially retrievers, will pick up a stick and they'll have a bit of fun with sticks, but you have to be very, very careful with sticks. A dog picks up an inappropriate sized stick, carries it a little bit oddly, and it stumbles, perhaps a dog stumbles and a stick gets lodged in the dog's throat, and you know, there's been some horrendous accidents involving sticks. So apart from the fact that they splinter, you can get some nasty accidents. There are sort of faux sticks out there, pretend sticks, that you can buy from pet shops. They resemble a stick, however they're plastic. So
okay.
I would advise any dog that likes stick-like objects to perhaps look for a plastic stick.
Look for a plastic stick?
It sounds like a contradiction in terms, but err on the side of caution with sticks. They can be very, very nasty. We've all seen dogs running along with massive, great sticks in their mouth. It's quite funny, but should that stick then get lodged in the ground as the dog's running, and, you know, you can finish the sentence yourself. It could be
absolutely.
Quite nasty, so.
And I guess if they got a big stick sticking out either side of their mouth and they try to run through a narrow gap, I suppose that's going to be nasty
exactly,
as well.
Yeah, that could be quite nasty as well.
Yeah.
It would probably make a nice photograph of a dog running along with a huge, great tree in his mouth. But you've got to look on the side of caution with sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that's good. And now another one that we had in this morning, Tony, was from Caroline. Caroline's got a staffy. 2 years old, and she says that every time we come home there'll be a group of us, and he always kind of looks around to see who's come through the door and then always jumps at her, chewing her hand, very excited to see her, always goes for me first. She says, so why would that happen? Why does he always pounce on me when I'm not the only one that feeds him or plays with him? All the others do as well, but for some reason he just latches onto me and chews my hand, and just interested to know why he always goes for her.
That's interesting. I mean, Staffies are exceptionally excitable dogs anyway, very much a people dog, and they tend to favour, often in my experience, they'll favour one owner over another perhaps, and I don't know why that's the case. Obviously the owner doesn't either. Only the dog will know the answer to that. I wouldn't worry as far as why it's occurring. What I would look at is perhaps training an alternative. So spend a bit of time with the dog and train perhaps a sit instead. So she's mentioned that she feeds the dog, so maybe get many sits in and just give the dog a little bit of his food every time she gets a sit. Perhaps when she walks through the front door, she can have a little bit of the dog's food, and just start rewarding the dog when his forepaws are on the floor, or her forepaws are on the floor. And then eventually what she'll find is the dog will start sitting, maybe anticipating the food. Maybe the dog's anticipating a little bit of fuss, so I wouldn't go too over the top with the fuss if the dog's jumping up. So completely ignore the dog if he's jumping up. As soon as his forepaws are on the floor, if he's sitting, then go down to his level or her level and fuss the dog.
Right, okay.
So it's all about what the dog sees as a reward. So if it's rewarding for the dog to be on the floor, then that's where you give the reward to the dog.
Right, that makes sense.
Hope that helps.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, Tony, well, thank you for that. Well, we'll take 12. Tony Cruz, our dog trainer, is with us, and always good to see you. We just had a phone call from Caroline to follow up on the problem with the staffy, and a bit more advice issued there. Don't forget 01702 45 50 60 if you'd like some advice about a problem that you've got with your particular dog. Then do give us a call and we will see if Tony can sort it out for you. Now, Tony, obviously you get to see all sorts of problems with various dogs. This one here that's an interesting one. Sally's just got a puppy called Deefa, I think it is. What she wants to know is when can she start training and how can she find a good dog training class?
Oh, that's a good question. Basically, the answer regarding the puppy is never too young to start training a puppy. You can start off at home. You haven't got to get the puppy out and about too early, specifically if it's not had its injections yet. But you can start injecting. You can start training the dog at home. What I recommend with a puppy is use the puppy's food. So hand feeding is very, very important with a puppy, because what you're doing every time you hand feed the puppy, you're showing the puppy that hand is a good thing. It's not something that's going to come along and take something away from that puppy. So just hand feeding is a good idea. It increases the bond between the owner and the puppy, and again that owner then becomes a good thing to that puppy. So home training is a nice way of doing it. No pressure. I wouldn't put any pressure on a puppy, a new puppy. Regarding training clubs, in England, I think in Europe as well, there's no actual regulations for training clubs. There are lots of clubs out there, and basically I could have watched TV, maybe a show like The Dog Whisperer or something, great show perhaps, and then started my own club on the back of that. I think I know dogs, I'll start my own club. So it's completely unregulated. So if you're out there looking for a dog training club, just check the instructor out, see what organisation he's with. There are quite a few good ones out there. The Association of Pet Dog Trainers is a good one. The Institute of Modern Dog Trainers is a good one. But these sort of organisations have a code of practice. So just have a little read of the code of practice. Is it something that you want to take your dog to? Once you've had a look at their code of practice, just pop along. Don't take your dog along, but just pop along. Obviously, give them a ring beforehand to let them know. And if they're a good dog training club, they'll say, yeah, fine, come along and have a look. And what you're going to be looking for is just have a little look at the other dogs in the class. Do the dogs look happy? Do they look a little bit stressed? Do they look overstressed? What sort of equipment is being used in class? Is it sort of choke chains? Are there been some harsh methods used, so the dog's being sort of checked? And also, is it working? Is what they're being taught, does it look like it's working? Once you've looked at the dogs, have a look at the people as well, because after all, we are teaching people. Yeah. So are the people happy? Are they smiling? Are they having fun? Do the people look stressed? Because as a dog trainer, I'm addressing people. I don't want to make them feel insignificant. I want to make them feel great about their dog, and I want to help them learn with their dog so they can take away what they've learnt at the club and use it at home. So take all of this in, the environment where they're being trained, and then have a word with the trainer afterwards, perhaps. And if you like what you see, sign up. It's that simple.
It's as simple as simple. I like that.
Go and have a look.
Go and have a look. Basically, I'm quite surprised though that there's no regulation. It's quite surprising.
Yes, it's as I said, it's very easy to set yourself up. But there's a lot of dog training courses out there that wannabe dog trainers can be doing. You know, the IMDT, for example, offer a lot of courses that you can be doing if you want to get into that career. It's very important that you keep up to with the modern methods as well. You know, dog training's going through a bit of a change at the moment. There's sort of the old Barbara Woodhouse methods. Yeah. Unfortunately, some of those methods are still around, but we've learned a lot more about dogs these days, and there are a lot more friendlier methods that have been seen to be working. You know, we're trying to encourage the dog to get the best behaviour and reward the dog well for the right behaviour. We're going less away from punishing a dog and more to actually rewarding the dog for the appropriate behaviour. So yeah, there's dog trainers out there that perhaps still using the same methods that were around 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's still dog trainers out there that have been training 40 years ago and haven't moved on.
Yeah, so things have moved on, haven't they?
They
yeah,
certainly
totally.
have, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's all good now, and generally I would say most things are getting better. There's lots of education out there, as I say, so
Great stuff.
Have a look around.
Good stuff. Okay, well, we'll be back with Tony in a couple of minutes. Don't forget, if you have a problem with your dog, then do give us a call. 01702 45 50 60 is the number to ring. John thinks he's got a puppy who's a bit aggressive, biting, growling. Never seen it before, he says. And he's also said, are there 5 tips for a new puppy owner?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah, I get a lot of questions in that area. A lot of people assume that the puppy is aggressive. It's very unlikely that a puppy is aggressive. Far more likely to be playful. Perhaps they just don't know the rules, and that's how they manifest the excitement that they've got. Obviously, without seeing the puppy, it's difficult to give it a full assessment. I'd always advise getting a professional in if you're unsure or if there's any sort of safety factor there. But generally, it's a little bit of play that may be misdirected. So, top 5 tips, was it?
Yeah.
Top 5 tips for puppies. Puppy-proof your home, I would suggest.
That's a good one.
To puppy, anything is a toy. You've only got to look at a little wire sticking out from behind the settee or something. It looks like a toy. It's rubber. It might be brightly coloured, and the puppy might well think, I think I'll pick this up and chew it. And it's a live wire. So first thing you've got to look at is your home setup, preventing any little accidents from occurring. So by that I mean anything that the puppy could pick up and chew. You know, any sort of surfaces a puppy could jump up on and grab a sandwich or grab some food. Again, you've got to look at that. So with the puppy, it's all a lot about prevention. You know, don't set the puppy up to fail. So once you've done that, then you can look at the puppy itself and the puppy's environment. The puppy needs a little area where he can spend and chill out maybe. You know, the puppy's life is going to be full of people visiting and children playing with him or her. So this puppy needs a little place to go where he or she can chill out and be quiet and sleep. So make a nice little area for the puppy to sleep in. Maybe a crate that's been covered with a blanket and a nice sort of blanket in there and a few little toys in there where the puppy can go if he's a little bit stressed or he's a little bit tired and just retire to. So that's exceptionally that is important. And so we've looked at the puppy and where he can stay, but also the puppy's got to meet a lot of people. It's very important at that age that the puppy meets many people. So invite a lot of people around, have a little party, invite some friends around, but every time the puppy meets someone new, the puppy gets a treat. It's a great experience. I skipped my number 1, and this is one I bang on about a lot. I think I may have already mentioned it, but hand feed the puppy. Forget about putting food in a food bowl for a puppy. It's a wasted experience. The puppy will wolf it down quite literally in seconds. So every little bit of food, you could just hand feed your dog, makes it a nice experience. Your puppy learns to love you a lot more, and the hand becomes a good thing. The hand becomes something that you give and don't take away. You can also get little bits of behaviour, maybe teach the puppy to sit. So crank the food over the puppy's head. As he sits, sit, there's your food. So you can do a little bit of training, incorporating the food, but certainly hand feed for a good long time with a puppy. Forget about a food bowl.
Absolutely. Okay, well, all good hints there and good tips from you, Tony, so thank you very much for that. And thanks for coming in to see us again today.
I've really enjoyed it.
It's been good.